There has to be something in the water in Missouri because in recent years, this is a team that's had a lot of productive players on that defensive line. They really have. You think about the Michael Sams and the Marcus Goldens, the Coney Ely's, the Shane Rays. Even though Michael Sam didn't ultimately pan out at the NFL level, this was a guy that was an SEC Defensive Player of the Year. But you look at guys like Coney Ely, he's made it in the league, and he's had flashes and moments. And Marcus Golden has been really, really good for the Arizona Cardinals. And Shane Ray, we'll see what ultimately happens now that DeMarcus Ware is out of the picture. How's he going to play opposite of Von Miller outside in that Broncos defense? There's something in the water because they're churning out these prospects, it seems like, almost every single year. It's like even going back to Aldon Smith. Almost every single year it seems like Missouri is presenting somebody as an edge rusher for the NFL draft that people get excited about. It's crazy when you think about it. I mean, they really have cranked out some decent talent at that position in recent years. But when it comes to Charles Harris, I know a lot of people are high on this guy, and a lot of people see a big-time future out of him and are starting to get giggly tits, and reportedly he's moving up draft boards and stuff. I have to be honest, I just don't see it. Like, when I hear people buzzing and talking about Charles Harris, it just overrated flashes on the screen for me. There's a chance that I'll be wrong about him. There's a chance that he could be a productive player. But I think part of the challenge for him at 6'3", 255 pounds, and kind of what I saw on film, is where is his fit? Is he a Michael Sam type of guy without maybe a true NFL position? Or can he bulk up a little bit and be like Coney Ely? Or is he going to need to stay at his current weight and develop into a Marcus Golden, Shane Ray type of guy? I don't know. And after watching the film, I really didn't know where to grade him. I just didn't really know where he fit best for the NFL level. And I frankly, got to be honest, I did not see what all the fucking fuss was about. Now, granted, he's got an explosive first step. He's got great explosiveness and burst off the edge. And sometimes that quick first step allows him to win off the edge, just flat out. He's not, I don't think, quite Tim Williams level explosive off the edge, but he's very explosive off the edge when he wants to be. And that's for sure. I won't take that away from him. And I think sometimes what happens when we're watching edge rushers, it's easy to notice the guys that can fly off the edge. Because when they win like that, that can be the most impressive thing. But when I look at Charles Harris, I don't see a guy that's particularly strong. He really needs to hit the weight room. I think his lack of strength shows, particularly in the running game, where I think he's absolutely terrible at setting the edge. He consistently gets walled off and pushed back. On top of that, not to mention that he fires too far up the field consistently, and he blows his defenses contain. And then, furthermore, his pursuit level as a run defender definitely leaves something to be desired. Is that lack of strength, though, that I come down to is saying even as a 3-4 edge rusher, that lack of strength is going to cause him a problem. Because even if he can fly off the edge, you're going to deal with some tackles at the NFL level that actually have the foot movement skills to be able to get with him. You're going to have to be able to do something else, and I think that's where Charles Harris gets whipped. Because other than being able to fly off the edge sometimes, but not every time, and occasionally demonstrating a really good spin move, he just really doesn't have much else as a pass rusher. He has a lot to be desired in terms of rip move, swim move. He can't really bull rush anybody. I most certainly don't envision him being able to bull rush at the NFL level at this time unless he gets a whole hell of a lot stronger. So he's not going to be able to convert explosive quickness and speed into power. And I saw a guy who just primarily only won by getting to the quarterback on the outside. That's the way I kind of saw it. I mean, I don't think he plays with great leverage. I think he has trouble getting off of blockers. I saw a guy who really didn't have a very good feel for the game. If he doesn't get to the quarterback, he's not going to get his hands up in the passing lanes. Like I mentioned before, he really needs to stay more disciplined in setting the edge and maintaining his gap assignments. Gets fooled silly a lot on read option and play action. It seems like many times he has no clue where the ball is. Like he could still be sitting there looking at the offensive tackle instead of looking at the quarterback or looking at the running back or paying attention to the ball. He could get so caught up in his one-on-one battle that this is happening, that's happening, and he has no clue what the hell is going on. I mean, I'm sorry. I just don't see it with this guy. I see a guy that you take in the third, fourth round, that you gamble on that burst off of the edge, and you try to make a football player out of him. But right now, I see a guy who's a good linear athlete, but I think is overrated in terms of his overall athleticism, that is far removed from being a well-rounded type of player that could be a truly productive, consistent edge rusher at the NFL level. It's just the way I see it. I've got a grade on him of a 78.0, and I'm sure I'm grading him lower than most anybody else is. This will probably one of these things where it happens every year, to be honest, where I'll have some guys I go on a limb for and I'm spot on, and other guys I go on a limb about and I'm dead fucking wrong. I might end up being dead wrong about Charles Harris. I just, in this draft, think that he is one of the more massively overrated players that I've seen. And maybe some of you can help me in the comments. Maybe some of you agree. I'm sure some of you don't. And if you don't, I don't do this to argue with you. I'm serious. Please clue me in as to what I'm missing. What is the bigger picture here? What is the big deal about Charles Harris? Because I just don't get it. And more importantly, I just don't see it.